Halloween, or Hallow-Even, is the last night of October, being the eve or vigil of All Hallows, or All Saints' Day, and no holiday in all the year is so informal or so marked by fun, both for grown-ups as well as children, as this one. On this night there should be nothing but laughter, fun, and mystery. It is the night when fairies dance, ghosts, witches, devils, and mischief-making elves wander around. It is the night when all sorts of charms and spells are invoked for prying into the future by all young folks, and sometimes by folk who are not young. In getting up a Halloween party, everything should be made as secret as possible, and each guest bound to secrecy concerning the invitations. Any of the following forms of invitations might be used. Witches and choice spirits of darkness will hold high carnival at my house, Wednesday, October 31st at 8 o'clock. Come prepared to test your fate. Costume, witches, ghosts, etc. Miss Ethel Jones will expect to see you at her Halloween party, Wednesday, October 31st at 8 o'clock. She begs that you will come prepared to participate in the mysteries and rites of All Hallows' Eve, and to wear a costume appropriate to the occasion. On Wednesday, October 31st at 8 o'clock, I shall celebrate Halloween, and hope that you will come and participate in the mysteries and rites of All Hallows' Eve. So come prepared to learn your fate. The room or rooms in which most of the games are to be played should be decorated as grotesquely as possible with jack-o'-lanterns made from apples, cucumbers, squash, pumpkins, etc., with incisions made for eyes, nose, and mouth, and a lighted candle placed within. Jack-o'-lanterns for the gas jets may be made of pasteboard boxes about the size of a shoebox. Cut holes for eyes, nose, and mouth on all four sides of the box, and cover the holes with red or green tissue paper. A black box with the openings covered with red tissue paper, or vice versa, or white and green make good combinations. Cut a hole in the bottom of the box, just large enough to fit over the gas jet, turning the gas low enough to not burn the box. In addition to this, jack-o'-lanterns made from pumpkins, etc. should be placed around on tables, mantels, corners, etc. A skull and crossbones placed over the door entering the house would be very appropriate. The hall should be in total darkness, except for the light coming from the jack-o'-lanterns of all shapes and sizes in various places. Autumn leaves, green branches, apples, tomatoes, and corn should also play an important part in the decorations. Black and yellow cheesecloth or crepe paper makes very effective and inexpensive decorations. The dining room should be decorated with autumn leaves, goldenrod, yellow chrysanthemums, strings of cranberries, etc. For a table centerpiece, a large pumpkin could be used with the top cut off and partly filled with water, in which a large bunch of yellow chrysanthemums or goldenrod could be placed. Bay leaves can be scattered over the table. Another idea for a centerpiece is a large pumpkin jack-o'-lantern, the top cut in large points, with small chocolate mice in the notches and scampering down the sides of the pumpkin, held in place by long pins or a little glue, and over the table. Place cards representing pumpkins, black cats, witches' hats, witches, brownies, etc. are appropriate. If one is not an artist in watercolor painting, some of the cards could be cut from colored Bristol board or heavy paper. The witches' hats of black or brown paper with a red ribbon band. The cats of black paper showing a back view may have a red or yellow ribbon necktie. Pumpkins of yellow paper with the sections traced in ink or notched a trifle, and black thread drawn between the notches. Any of these designs could be used for an invitation for a child's party by writing on the reverse side, "Will you please come to my party on Wednesday, October 31st, with the name and address of the little host or hostess, using white ink on black paper." The dining room should also be in total darkness, except for the light given by the jack-o'-lanterns, until the guests are seated, when they should unmask. The supper could be served in this dim light, or the lights turned up and the room made brilliant. After the supper is over, and while the guests are still seated, a splendid idea would be to extinguish all the lights and to have one or more of the party tell ghost stories. Have a large pumpkin on a stand or table, from which hang as many ribbons as there are guests. Have one end of the ribbon attached to a small card in the pumpkin, on which may be a little watercolor sketch of pumpkin, apples, witch, ghost, or other appropriate design, together with a number. Have red ribbon for the girls and yellow ribbon for the boys, with corresponding numbers. Let each guest draw a ribbon from the pumpkin and find their partner by number. Another suggestion is to have the hall totally dark with the door ajar and no one in sight to welcome the guests. As they step in, they are surprised to be greeted by someone dressed as a ghost who extends his hand, which is covered with wet salt. The following games and tests of fate and fortune will furnish entertainment for children small and children of a larger growth. Of course, prying into the future with these tests at any other time, they may not prove infallible, but on the eve of All Saints' Day, when all the elves, the fairies, goblins, and hobgoblins are at large, playing pranks and teasing and pleasing, why should they not come true? Walnut boats. Open English walnuts, remove meat, and in each half shell fasten short pieces of differently colored Christmas candles, each of which is to be named for a member of party, and after lighting, set afloat in large pan or tub of water. The behavior of these tiny boats reveals future of those for whom they are named. If two glide on together, their owners have a similar destiny. If they glide apart, so will their owners. Sometimes candles will huddle together as if talking to one another, while perchance one will be left alone out in the cold, as it were. Again, two will start off and all the rest will closely follow. The one whose candle first goes out is destined to be old, bachelor, or maid. These nutshell boats may also be made by pouring melted wax into halves of walnut shells, in which are short strings for wicks. Dumb cake. Each one places handful of wheat flour on sheet of white paper and sprinkles it over with a pinch of salt. Someone makes it into dough, being careful not to use spring water. Each rolls up a piece of dough, spreads it out thin and flat, and marks initials on it with a new pin. The cakes are placed before fire, and all take seats as far from it as possible. This is done before 11 p.m., and between that time and midnight, each one must turn cake once. When clock strikes 12, future wife or husband of one who is to be married first will enter and lay hand on cake marked with name. Throughout whole proceeding not a word is spoken, hence the name dumb cake. If supper is served before 11:30, dumb cake should be reserved for one of the after-supper tests. Halloween souvenir game. Suspend apples by means of strings in doorway or from ceiling at proper height to be caught between the teeth. First successful player receives prize. These prizes should be Halloween souvenirs, such as emery cushions of silk representing tomatoes, radishes, apples, pears, pickles, or pen wipers representing brooms, bats, cats, witches, etc. Flour test. A bowl is filled tightly with flour. During the process of filling, a wedding ring is inserted vertically in some part of it. The bowl, when full, is inverted upon a dish and withdrawn, leaving the mound of flour on the dish. Each guest cuts off with a knife a thin slice which crumbles into dust. The guest who cuts off the slice containing the ring will be married first. Lover's test. Maid and youth each places a chestnut to roast on fire side by side. If one hisses and steams, it indicates a fretful temper in owner of chestnut. When both chestnuts equally misbehave, it augurs strife. If one or both pop away, it means separation. But if both burn to ashes tranquilly side by side, a long life of undisturbed happiness will be lot of owners. These portentous omens are fitly defined in the following lines. These glowing nuts are emblems true of what in human life we view. The ill-matched couple fret and fume, and thus in strife themselves consume, or from each other wildly start, and with a noise forever part. But see the happy, happy pair of genuine love and truth sincere, with mutual fondness while they burn, still to each other kindly turn. And as the vital sparks decay, together gently sink away, till life's fierce trials being past, their mingled ashes rest at last. Perplexing Hunt. In this game, the seeker for a prize is guided from place to place by doggerels as the following, and is started on his hunt with this rhyme. Perhaps you'll find it in the air. If not, look underneath your chair. Beneath his chair he finds the following. No, you will not find it here. Search the clock and have no fear. Under the clock he finds, you will have to try once more. Look behind the parlor door. Tied to the doorknob he discovers. If it's not out in the stable, seek beneath the kitchen table. Under the kitchen table he finds another note which reads, if your quest remains uncertain, you will find it 'neath a curtain. And here his quest is rewarded by finding the prize. Apple seeds. Apple seeds act as charms on Halloween. Stick one on each eyelid and name one home and the other travel. If seed named travel stays on longer, you will go on a journey before year expires. If home clings better, you will remain home. Again, take all the apple seeds, place them on back of outspread left hand, and with loosely clenched right hand, strike palm of left. This will cause some, if not all, of seeds to fall. Those left on hand show numbers of letters you will receive the coming fortnight. Should all seeds drop, you must wait patiently for your mail. Put 12 apple seeds carefully one side while you cut 12 slips of blank paper exactly alike, and on one side of each write name of friend. Turn them all over with blanks uppermost and mix them so that you will not know which is which. Then, holding seeds in your left hand, repeat, 1 I love, 2 I love, 3 I love I say, 4 I love with all my heart, 5 I cast away, 6 he loves, 7 she loves, 8 they both love, 9 he comes, 10 he tarries, 11 he courts, and 12 he marries. Stop at each line to place a seed on a paper, and turn slip over to discover name of one you love or cast away. Continue matching apple seeds with papers as you count, till all 12 seeds and 12 papers are used. Hiding ring, thimble, and penny. Hide ring, thimble, and penny in room. To one who finds ring, speedy marriage is assured. Thimble denotes life of single blessedness. Penny promises wealth. Pulling kale. All are blindfolded and go out singly or hand in hand to garden. Groping about, they pull up first stalk of kale or head of cabbage. If stalk comes up easily, the sweetheart will be easy to win. If the reverse, hard to win. The shape of the stump will hint at figure of prospective wife or husband. Its length will suggest age. Much soil clings to it, life partner will be rich. If not, poor. Finally, the stump is carried home and hung over door. First person outside a family who passes under it bear a name whose initial is same as that of sweetheart. Nuts to crack. pencils and paper to each guest with the following written upon it. 1. A dairy product. 2. A vegetable. 3. A country. 4. A girl's name. 5. A structure. 6. A name often applied to one of our presidents. 7. Every ocean has one. 8. That which often holds a treasure. 9. The names of 2 boys. 10. A letter of the alphabet and an article made of tin. Explain that the above describes 10 different nuts which they are to guess. The nuts described are 1. Butternut, 2. Peanut, 3. Brazil nut, 4. Hazelnut, 5. Walnut, 6. Hickory nut, 7. Beech nut, 8. Chestnut, 9. Filbert, 10. Pecan. A prize may be awarded to the one first having correct answers. Raisin race. A raisin is strung in middle of thread a yard long, and 2 persons take each an end of string in mouth. Whoever by chewing string reaches raisin first has raisin and will be first wedded. What's my thought like? The players sit in a circle and one of them asks the others, "What's my thought like?" One player may say, "A monkey." The second, "A candle." The third, "A pin," and so on. When all the company have compared the thought to some object, the first player tells them the thought. Perhaps it is the cat, and then asks each in turn why it is like the object he compared it to. "Why is my cat like a monkey?" is asked. The other player might answer, "Because it is full of tricks." "Why is my cat like a candle?" "Because its eyes glow like a candle in the dark." "Why is my cat like a pin?" "Because its claws scratch like a pin." Anyone who is unable to explain why the thought resembles the object he mentioned must pay a forfeit. True lover test. 2 hazelnuts are thrown into hot coals by maiden, who secretly gives a lover's name to each. If one nut bursts, then that lover is unfaithful, but if it burns with steady glow until it becomes ashes, she knows that her lover is true. Sometimes it happens, but not often, that both nuts burn steadily, and then the maiden's heart is sore perplexed. Kismet. Take half as many apples as guests. Tie 2 long strings, 1 red and 1 yellow, to each apple. Place them in 1 large or several small baskets or receptacles on a table. The girls choose the red and the boys the yellow strings, and at a signal they carefully pull the strings and follow them up until each finds his or her mate holding a string of the opposite color attached to the same apple. The apples are then to be divided between each couple, and the seeds in each half counted as follows: 1. I love thee. 2. He, she loves me. 3. Wedded we will be. 4. He, she loves me dearly. 5. He, she loves me nearly. 6. A friend forever. 7. We must sever. 8. We met too late. 9. Why hesitate? 10. He, she is my chosen mate. Threading a needle. Sit on round bottle laid lengthwise on floor and try to thread a needle. First to succeed will be first married. End of Games for Halloween, Part 1.